Welcome back to another episode of Gem a Week, where we focus on adding one gem each week to your Ruby toolbox. My name is Evan Macknick, and this week's screencast is on Rabl, or the Ruby API Builder Language by Nathan Esquenazi at Miso. Rabl was created as a way to build custom public APIs in your Rails applications. The Miso developers kept hitting walls trying to customize to JSON in Rails, and decided that there needs to be an easier way to write these APIs. Let's take a look at Rabl and see how we can implement it in our application. Here we have a standard blog application, and we can create posts. I've also added authors for the posts. Now if you just wanted to build a public API using Rails built-in toJSON method, it probably wouldn't be too bad for this application, and Rabl might be overkill. Still, I'll show you how easy Rabl is. All we do is add gem Rabl to our gem file and bundle the gem. We can then define our JSON and XML templates in the views instead of the model and controller. This makes it very easy and clean to create different responses based on the action. I've already set up the user and post association, so let's go to the controller. Let's say we want people to access users' information. We just go to our user's controller and create the show action. And here we set the user instance variable to be user.findBy ID and params ID. We also need to add in the line respond to JSON and XML because Rails will automatically handle the request based on the URL you submit. So we save that file. Now we just need to create a template. Create a file called show.rabl in app-views-users. Then we'll just define the attributes we want to expose. Here we're going to set object to the user instance variable, and then the attributes we're going to use are first name and last name, and with age we want to change that to years old. Also we can set a custom node, so if we do node full name do user, and then do user first name, user last name dot join, and we'll join it with a space, then we actually have a custom field in our JSON response. We'll also create a new node called can drink, where we define whether the user can drink or not. Now if we go into IRB and make the API call, we'll get back exactly what was defined in the template. So right here I'm requiring a couple gems, and I just created a small gem called Gem a Week so that I can connect to it easily. So we'll just create a new Gem a Week client, and then I'm using JJ to actually print this out in IRB in a nice format. So if we do jj client.get users1.json, it's actually going to print out the JSON representation of that user. Let's go into our posts and create a template for the post. In post controller, we need to make sure that we have respond to HTML, JSON, XML, and then we'll just create the index.rabl template in app views posts. In this one, we're going to pass the collection at posts instant variable and also the attributes we want. So we have a title and body. We're also going to define a custom node called isRecent so people can pull posts that are no less than a week old. We also want the user that created the post to be included with the JSON response. So we'll use child here and set the child to user. And what we're actually going to do is reuse the user's template. So we just do extends user/show and we don't have to write the stuff over again. If we go back into IRB, we'll just go ahead and get all the posts. Another thing we can do is change the name of the models that we're sending. So let's change posts to articles. And you see, there we go. We have article instead of post now. Alright, there we have a nice intro to using Rabl. There's much more that can be done, and if you need to build a nice public API, then definitely check out the GitHub page. Thanks for taking the time to watch this episode of Gem a Week, and if you have any comments or suggestions, you can add them to the episode page or send me an email at gemaweek@gemaweek.com. See you next week.